Okay, we have. Hi, guys. We have covered some interaction design models, uh, interaction design laws here, and we have drawn our wireframes and information architecture, the flowchart for our design, right? Here. Now, this week we are doing user research and analysis, user scenarios and persona, and finally see what our design will look like as your final project we are doing, and that is the high fidelity prototype of your product. Well, user research. Since users use the product, we have to know what they want, as I always say. So when do we do this user research? Well, the short answer would be anytime. Do you remember this design thinking process we have talked about in our first week? Well, I hope you do, because in every stage of your product development cycle, user research might be beneficial and bring new understandings to light that will further help your development. See here, guys, you're discovering what problem what problem your users are facing. And that is the empathy step, and what the overall market situation looks like. Like if you launch your product, would people prefer yours than the other similar products? Or what is the trending or popular design that people are choosing to use? Then you are validating your design solution with real users, and typically iterate a few times on it, and that is the steps of define, ideate and prototype. And at the end, after the product release, you evaluate whether it's used as expected, whether it meets people's expectations and how it's performing, and that is the testing step. Let's organize what we have just talked. There are three main steps to conduct user research. First is discovery research by empathizing people, and some research on the market looks like. Will it be successful actually? Secondly, invalidation research, and that is confirming your ideas, your sketches and prototypes with real people. And final one, post-launch, after-launch research after you upload the product for the public to see and use, or maybe you started selling the product. You see what the actual users do with your product. Let's see each of them in more details. Where is it? Okay, discovery. There are actually two kinds of research in this first step of discovery research, and that is primary and secondary. By primary research, we mean organizing our own data collecting and processing it by ourselves. You do some conversation with humans, understand their motivation and problems they're facing, see how they solve the problem now. Well, that is the interviewing. And next is you do target research on some specific groups, and you can do paper or online surveys asking people what they want from you. Also, you can just look at people, what they're doing, and that is, review. You can also review competitors, like find similar designs and the designers, how they work, and figure out the market situation and its potential. And that is the observation. And you can do some fun experiment with people online or offline. Okay, by secondary research, we mean utilizing already existing research. You can read professional or professional looking research papers online or offline. You can read literature books for more ideas, I guess, and you can do case study research on similar existing projects and data platform research. Well, this is important because we are in rapidly developing technology era with full of big data. We need to know the platforms that the products go and live in the virtual world, home of the products, meaning the hosting sites or clouds. We will do only some of them in our class. You can do the rest by yourselves. I trust you. Okay, let's see how you talk to people. Interviewing. Why do we need it? Well, it is used to extract information from users so as to understand their user experience as well as the product's usability and the design ideation. Designers should be able to gather insights from users and the competitors. Therefore, it's important to know how to conduct user interview and how to do a competitor analysis. There is another type of interviewing, and that is the contextual interviewing. It's conducted after or during the observation of a user using their actual product. What's the difference between this and this? Well, the first interview is just meeting and understanding people online or offline. This contextual interviewing, this part is about getting feedbacks and comments on your design sketches or prototypes or wireframes you've been doing. You do this first interview to make the persona. Persona is a representative virtual person that represents the target users. Let's see the next page. Persona is a representation of the real target audience data gathered in a previous research, such as user interview we've just talked about. It has a photo, name, and some descriptions with background information, this person's desire, motivation to use their certain product, such that a persona is a simple tool to create your product with a specific target user in mind rather than a generic one. In one sentence, you are designing your product for that specific person A, persona. So how do we find this information of the person A, persona? Of course, the interviewing. What I've just said, you can ask 3 to 5 people for our case in our class by asking the background infos, name, image, and etc. Also, the use of the technology in general, tablet or computer, what brand, or pen and paper. Also, the use of the product, why they use it. Do they need to use it? And the user's main objectives and motivations to use the product. And finally, users' pain points. It is to make a persona. You ask these questions to make a persona. Okay, so your homework for today's class is this: conduct an user interview with 3 to 5 people. Online or offline. Who those might want to read or want to use your product, or they need your product product meaning your web or app or in any interactive interface, and make a persona. After the interviewing, you make a persona. Okay? Make the persona. Okay, and Google more information about conducting user interview and making persona. I will attach some links on the Google Classroom with the assignment. Hey, we haven't finished. Let's go to the next page. After we make the persona, we make a user scenario case for that specific persona, person A. User scenario is his or her user flow of your design. User scenarios let you understand what your future users will look for when trying to complete tasks on your site or any design. So how do we do it? User flow is user flows show the steps of a user goes through to accomplish a goal. Each user flow should be a single task guys, and flow in one direction. The end representing a completed task, like one circle. User, for example, add item to a cart in shopping site, or maybe viewing last payment, or log in or out. Just one whole process on your design. So it can be low fidelity, like the traditional pen and paper work you've been doing, and it's really useful when we go into the real designing with the tools, Photoshop, Illustrator, and any other InDesign or any other tools you use. It is helpful for the user experience design to see the big picture of the whole project, the connections and logics, and as I always say, the bones and joints of your design. I will also link some useful videos on this third assignment in the folder, Google Classroom folder. Okay, see ya.